Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to another edition of Talks and Tea with me, Tonya Nicole, and my very special guest, Miss Melissa Stiers. Tell everybody hello, Melissa.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me, Tonya.
Oh, my pleasure. I am so excited because our speaker lineup, as you all have seen, our Talks and Tea guests over the last couple of weeks have been some phenomenal women. And I'm excited because it's another day and another jam-packed weekend of awesome, awesome, awesome guests. And our guests are also some of our featured featured speakers at the upcoming She Empowerment Conference. And so we are going to get started in just a moment. We'll go over our little preliminaries as we always do. But if you're joining us, go ahead and say hello in the chat room, in the comments, and tell us where you're from. Tell us what tea you're drinking, and we'd love to interact with you. If you have any questions for me or for Melissa as we're going through this, don't worry. Just ask us in the comments, and we'll love to respond to you, and you might even get a spotlight on our Talks and Tea today. All right, so without fail, I'm going to go over just a few little preliminaries. As I said, in the background, you not only see the tea that I often talk about with more fire teas, but you also see what is coming up. And it is a part of our branded items for our She Empowerment Conference. And so I'm excited. We have mugs, we have masks, we have t-shirts, we have donations. And so if you haven't already registered for the She Empowerment Conference, go ahead and do that now. And if you elect to either buy the She swag or get the VIP, then you get the whole shebang. I have my She mug. It's my debut of my She mug tonight on Talks and Tea. And so I am going to turn it to you, Melissa. What are you drinking tonight? And tell us about your mug.
Well, thank you very much. Normally my go-to is chai. I am a chai tea girl, but tonight I am drinking a mix of chamomile, mint, and orange, not orange, is it orange leaf? Like orange, some sort of citrus. It's supposed to be calming. I'm very hyper and expressive, and I didn't want to be too much for the audience so late in the day, right? So this is a nice little calming tea. But my mug, you want to hear the mug story?
Yes, share the mug story.
So this mug, so I'm going to date myself. In August, or I guess in May, was my 20th high school reunion. And this mug, one of my very best girlfriends and I, we were in Spanish class in our junior year of high school. And two of our best guy friends were in the same class with us. And you know how you go through these little phases where you're really close with each other? Well, we gave each other Christmas presents that year. And I remember they gave me a Yankee candle and they gave me this mug. And I have had this mug. It has traveled with me every home I've ever lived with. It's made it to college and back. It survived those days. And it's one of my favorite mugs. And it has all these great memories, but it's quite a few years old, but I'm very sentimental. So
I love that. I love the stories behind the mugs. That's really cool. And that you've kept it for that long.
And for guys to pick out a good gift for their friends, girl, like in high school, I feel like that's a good for them.
That is a good for them. All right. Well, I love it. And I love what you're drinking too. I said it a couple of weeks ago, but for me, mint is always a go-to because I have migraines. And so it really helps kind of soothe those migraines. So
didn't know that.
Yes. All right. So we're going to do a quick little intro, bringing in our Talks and Tea. And if you haven't already, great time to share to everyone you know so that they come and join us today. Yay! All right. So if you are just now joining us, again, this is Talks and Tea with me, Tonya Nicole, and my very special guest, Melissa Stiers. Melissa is an amazing woman. She comes from a background of working with some of the world elites. She has been a She has been in leadership. She's worked with business. She's worked around the globe with royal families, with government officials, politicians, and she has pivoted and is working as an executive leadership strategist to really help those people learn how to navigate their mindset in the corporate world or even in building their own business. Say hello, Melissa, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much. That was a very generous welcome. So thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here. And yeah, you really summed me up in a nice little package. I wish I was that concise when I speak. But I've traveled the globe and I had just amazing opportunities to work with some really incredible people, and I had incredible experiences. And I'm a little girl from nowhere, Central Florida, and I kind of grew up to do really big and cool things because of a couple of reasons. One of it is my hustle, and one of it is helping hand, because others were lifted me up and mentored me along the way. And so I realized that with all this experience and all this knowledge in my head and these certifications and protocol and event management, and then all the executive work that I've done, and how do you become the first educational partner with Fortune magazine and their global forum in Chengdu, China? What does that look like? How does that feel? It feels crazy. So, but I have all this, I have all this knowledge, and that's why I really, kicked into, I never saw myself as an entrepreneur, but I kicked into to launch Steyer's Consulting, because I really wanted to work with folks, and I wanted to coach them along individually and then also group coaching as they develop themselves professionally and also personally, because I think it's a two-way street. And I'm really excited. It's cheesy, but I do live my life for others. I feel like we're here to be in relationship with one another, and that is my high. I get a high by helping other people.
I love that. And so another thing that you get a high from, yes, I'm going to call you out, is singing randomly. So I used to be called like the human jukebox, because I would just randomly sing something, like you would just say a word and I would just sing it. But I wasn't as good of a singer as you. So I think we should just take a quick, maybe 30 seconds, and I should say a word and you should just sing a song from it.
Oh my goodness. Well, I will try. This is a game I was not prepared for, folks. I do bust into song all the time.
I know.
But this is a fun game. I feel like it's like a Tonight Show game.
I think so. For all of these, I give this whole write-up of, hey, this is what we're going to talk about. But the last few times I'm like, oh, but we didn't go over this, but let's just do it.
Let's just put her on the spot. It's a good thing I'm not shy. I'm going to take my sip of tea. I'll listen to your word.
Okay, so excellent. I am putting 30 seconds on my timer. I will say a word and you just come up with the song, okay?
Oh gosh.
Okay. Girls having fun.
Girls just want to have fun. Oh yes, girls just want to have. That's all they want.
Boots.
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. And one of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
Okay. Raise your hand.
Every day I win, no matter what. Got money on my mind.
Okay. I love it. That's my skating song. Okay. Eyes. When you're smiling,
the whole world smiles at you. Because I think of twinkling eyes.
I love it. Okay, our 30 seconds was up, but my phone just cut off instead of actually ringing.
That was a very fun game. I was nervous, but I want to play more later.
I know, that was good. That was exciting. I love to hear you sing, and I love having fun and just kind of breaking the ice. So as we talk about you and this, and I really think it's great to bring into, you've done all these wonderful professional things, but in the heart of it, you are, as you say, just a small town girl, and you're so full of life and energy. So tell me, what are some lessons that you have learned on your journey from your experience to where you are?
So I wanted to bust into a song with that, because just a small town girl living. No, thank you.
I love it.
I've learned quite a few lessons, and I learned many of them the hard way. Um, for a very long time, I let stress kind of dictate my life. I am a small town girl. And when you throw a small town girl in who's got to hustle, who's got to drive kind of into a big city, I spent a lot of time in Washington, D.C., but did a lot of work in um, New York and in LA, of course, overseas. That created this. I had this drive where I could not fail, and I could not fail. I could not fail. I could not fail in my career. Perfection was everything. But it came at a cost, and it came at a cost of very close to relationships, to mental health, and to sanity and my peace. And so I've learned that perfection is super overrated. I definitely have my priorities straight and in order. My priorities were not always in order in terms of what my end game was and what my end goal was. Not that I haven't always loved and wanted to serve people and work with people, but I also wanted to impress them and be there for them to my detriment, to putting off, a massive surgery because I had to go to China for this conference. So that's one thing that has stuck with me. Another really big thing, and I think as women, you can relate to this. You went to your fellow Gator like me, University of Florida, go Gators.
Go Gators.
And Gator, there was wonderful camaraderie, and we're just all together. And once you're a Gator, you're always a Gator, and that's kind of the mentality. You always help each other. Gators look after Gators. And I think that as women in general, and this is, there's been so many books written about it, and I really enjoyed the book Lean In years ago when that came out, that for the longest time, women were there was just that one seat at the table. And I'm not even talking in business. I'm talking about the way that little girls are raised in dance competitions and in beauty competitions.
Yes.
I grew up in singing competitions and speaking competitions and short sermons. I was a preacher. The competitions and like all this competitive nature. And I think competition is wonderful. I do believe in that. But I think for women, we are drilled in that there is only one seat at the table. There's only one prize. There's only one pretty girl in the room. There's only room for one brown-eyed girl, one green-eyed girl, one blue-eyed girl. The rest can't sit. There's not an abundance. And that is probably the biggest truth that I've discovered. There is an abundance. And when sisters help sisters, when we are empowered and empower one another, then the sky is the limit. We become unstoppable. And when I realized that my fellow women of the world were my allies and not my competition, and definitely not my enemy, that was freeing. And I'll never forget, I was able to place a girl that worked with me. I was offered this position and at a job in DC, and it wasn't right for me. It was a little too junior, but I saw her potential. I knew she could do it. And I put her up for the job, and she's been there. She just celebrated her 10th year. It's a very large think tank. She won the President's Award last year, and I'm so proud of her. And I'm so proud of her being moved forward. And I'm so proud that I didn't hold that back because, oh, well, if I can't do it, no one can. So that's a long lesson around, long way to get.
But that's excellent. And that is exactly, you mentioned the She Empowerment Conference, and that is exactly what we are designed to do. We're looking at upholding one another and not, I feel like you've read my mind, but that is one of the biggest things that I often say is there's room for everybody. It doesn't have to just be one person because we all bring our own creative uniqueness to the table. So I love that. Let's go to some of our comments because we are rolling in the comments. Dr. Leona said, I love it. Marcia said, hey, Tonya, Melissa. Hey, Marcia. And she says 100%. It is a myth that there is no extra room at the table.
What's that myth?
Yes. And Danielle said, hey, girl, hey. So, hey, you all out there, thank you so much for being here and joining us as we talk about Melissa and the lessons that she's learned throughout her experience. And this is one that is so on target of just moving beyond that idea that we must fit into this box, that there's only room for one person to be there. So one of the things that you often talk about is your travels. So your experiences, your history, your job, your everything has taken you around the globe. So my question for you is, what has been your favorite place to visit and why?
Wow, that's a great question. Oh my goodness. I can't just say one because I've just had so many amazing experiences. So I will give you two if I'm allowed.
Yes.
One is personal and one is professional. The personal is my husband is former military, and during our marriage, he did 2 tours as a civilian in Afghanistan. One was for 18 months, and one was for a year, 2 different stages. And so his first tour, he would get these things called R&Rs, rest and relaxations, where he would have 2 weeks off, and it was easier if we met overseas somewhere. So on Christmas Day, we met up in Paris, and we spent 2 weeks in Paris. And Paris is literally a city of my soul. I have had so many amazing visits to Paris, but literally meeting up with my husband after months and months of not seeing him and being in Paris. And I think it's the city of love, or one of the cities of love and life. And it was so beautiful and special to me. And I have so much Parisian art around my house. Like, I would buy all the street art by the canal. So I love Paris. And then, yes, it was amazing. And then one of my other favorite visits I ever went to was when I went to Jordan. And Jordan, two special moments in Jordan for me was one, facilitated a meeting at the palace with the current Queen Rania of Jordan, and being, working and being in her palace and sitting down with her. She's just one of the most gracious, lovely women. And so that stands out to me. But I also climbed Petra. I swam in the Dead Sea, and I climbed Petra, all in Jordan. And I was very out of shape at the time, and I kept saying, the Shrek movie, I should have taken a donkey, because for like $20, I could have ridden the donkey all the way up. I mean, I thought they're gonna have to freaking airlift me down. But once we finally got to the top, it said like end of the world, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And I think I also camped in Wadi Rum there, which with a Bedouin tent. So Jordan has a very special place in my heart, and it's so special to me because one of my mentors, talking about carrying people through, he my mentor, Ambassador Ghanim, he was a former ambassador to Jordan, and we traveled quite a bit together, and he just took me under his wing and taught me so much. And I'm really glad that he did that for me. And we had a wonderful experience. We were with families. It was amazing. So those are some of my top 2.
That is very awesome. So, and one of the things you did with this is you planned major events, and you were, I'm going to quote it wrong, an international protocol officer. You're double certified. Tell us, what does that mean? What is that?
That is such a great question. So there's so many. I actually just filled out did a blog for another women's owned company, and they said, what is an international protocol officer? And there are so many definitions. It's defined very different ways. The word protocol, and you have this correct. Protocol, if you go back to the Greek language, I believe protocol it means glue. Like the originated in the word, it means glue. And so protocol officers, we call ourselves the glue that holds everything together.
Nice.
Now, you will see protocol officers a lot in military and government. So think White House state dinners, that's a protocol officer. When President Obama went and saw the king, and they gave the Queen of England, and they gave gifts to each other, that's a piece of protocol. But now protocol is much more and more being found in academia, in corporates, in corporations, especially internationally, and then also large nonprofits. There's protocol in all these things. So protocol it's running large events. It's knowing how to shake hands, who stands where for photos, what does a receiving line look like, and then especially in terms of culture, like what do you do when you're in Japan versus when you're in South Korea? Like, what does that look like? It takes don't wrap. When you go to China, don't wrap any presents in white, because that's means death. So it's all that type of stuff. It's that knowledge. But really, at the end of the day, a protocol officer's job is to be able to facilitate respect and cultural understanding between. It could be between working in California and in South Florida. I mean, those are two different, like South and West Coast. Understanding different cultures and helping everybody work together in harmony and being the glue that holds it all together. Which I feel like our world needs a protocol officer. I'd be up for the challenge.
Oh my goodness, we do. Okay, so you all who are just now joining us, Melissa is phenomenal. And if you hear what she's saying, I mean, she's very humble, but I'm going to blow her up because I think she's awesome. She has traveled the world and she has facilitated the peaceful events and assemblies and wonderful interactions between leaders of this world, not just the country, but leaders of this world, to be able to come to the table, meet, gather, socialize, and have professional interactions. And she brings all of this years of experience to the table in her consulting business. And so when she spreads out for you all, as she comes and she talks to you all at the She Empowerment Conference, when she's going to do her breakout session, as well as if you wanted to connect with her, you would have the opportunity to lean into her expertise of not just her business and professionalism, but her years of experience in traveling the world and in working with people, not just on diversity, equity, and inclusion, but the step beyond of what are the protocols in order to ensure that that respect is translated across the table. Awesome. I love you, Melissa. You're amazing.
Thank you. I love you too. That was very, very nice of you. Thank you.
I think that is so necessary, because this sudden flash of popularity between equity, diversity, and inclusion, it often gets missed between the deepness of what that is. And I know that's not necessarily what an international protocol officer is, but it is. Yes. It is looking at the details of making sure that your actions don't inadvertently or accidentally disrespect someone else because of a difference in culture, a difference in communication, a difference in body language. And yes, that's amazing.
100%. Don't show the soles of your shoes in some countries. There are some countries where that is offensive. In the Middle East, like, don't, when you're having men, like, don't cross your legs. There's all these little things. You're absolutely right. And I think when you take time, and I think that's something that our world is missing. I see Lawrence said an amen earlier, because I hope it was about, like, our world needs a protocol officer. That I think if you take time and take a step back, even take 10 seconds back and just say, what does this other person need that I'm working with? Whether it's my client, whether it's my company, whether it's my team that I'm managing, whether it's a position that I'm growing into, what am I missing? How do I need to, there's like, let me just, it's so cheesy, but let me see where they're coming from. I feel like right now, because, and social media has made it this way. Social media is a blessing like this, and it's also a curse. It has made it so easy to take that cultural piece out of it, to take that diplomacy out of it, and to take that inclusion out, and just, you don't agree with me on this, so you're wrong, or you didn't put a period after my name and it's PhD, so I'm cutting you disrespected me. And so I hope that we are able to move forward and past that, and take a beat to see where everybody is sitting and what everybody is saying, and not just throw words into a Twitter screen and call it a day, because I don't think that solves much.
At all. And Lawrence says absolutely. Like, this is something that really resonates with everyone across the board. And I'm just going to put it out there for you all that don't know, there are some things in the work for the coming future. And you look for me and Melissa, because we're joining efforts together to take over the world. Yes. I don't know if you ever watched Pinky and the Brain. So that is like my common, most people who know me, if you ask me on any given morning, Tonya, what are you doing today? My response is the same thing I do every day. Pinky, try to take over the world. And I just see that because it's not a matter of not an evil mastermind, but it is so necessary that some authentic people step up and say, we're about to do things how they should be. Yes. We're about to change the waters and disrupt the norm in order to really just step out. I love it. Kathy says, yes, social media is good and bad. And it definitely is, Kathy. And so we're going to amplify the good of it here and now. So Tell me, Melissa, what services do you offer? Go ahead and share that with everybody so they know.
That's a great question. I love, I work with people in all different areas. I'm, focused in executive leadership strategy and coaching. So I love working with those that are mid-career, that are ready to move to the next level or have moved to the next level and need help. Like, what do I do? Mindset work. I also do a lot of consulting with events and protocol, and then executive coaching in terms of groups. I'm launching Next Level Leadership Academy in January. So that's going to be amazing. I'm really excited about it. It's an 8-week program. But until then, I'm taking one-on-one clients to dive into what's happening, and I don't just work on career and corporate. That's a piece of it. But I also work with mindset and where you are, like in confidence, in composure, in your vision for your future, your vision for your life, envisioning. So because I think that so much, I know so much of what we will succeed and how we will succeid is done in the mind. And that was also a new revelation to me that only happened a few years ago. Like, mind really plays a big role in it. So I do event management consulting and protocol advising. And then I also am a speaker on top of that. So you can find me. You can also go to my speaker page, themelissaspeaks.com. So
wondering, Melissa is on fire. That's in a nutshell. She's on fire. And so if you're interested in taking yourself to that next level, if you're finding that you're really looking to move forward in business and in life, and there may be something in your mind that's holding you back, it could be self-limiting beliefs, or it could just be something that you're not quite sure what it is. Melissa is a phenomenal coach, and she can help take you, as I say every week, from where you are to where you want to be, and really hit those areas in business, but also how they translate in your personal life. And if you can handle it on one end, it will translate throughout all of it. We are moving in our chat today. Jackie says, hi, everyone. Lawrence says, wow. Kathy says, that's exciting. We are on fire with the things that we have and the things that you are saying right now. I'm excited. So look, and our time is running out, but don't worry, we're going to talk a little bit longer, but this is great. If you want to see Melissa Stiers, there are a couple of ways that you can get in touch with her. Number one, she gave me permission to tell you all that she has 2 things to give you, right? One is a breakthrough call, absolutely free. It's not usually free. But when I tell you she is on fire, she is giving opportunities for, if you would like to call right now until the She Empowerment Conference is over, go ahead and set that breakthrough call up with her. It's a free 30 minutes to talk about where you are in life. It's free. You don't have to commit. But I'm telling you, once you get on the phone with her, you're going to want to. And then if you want to just get to know her a little bit better, she has a free gift on her website. Can you share a little bit about your free gift?
Absolutely. So I also, aside from all the many hats I wore for a very long time, I did remote before remote was cool, before COVID made us all do remote working. And so I created a free guide to the top 5 tips that you need to win in a virtual interview. And I feel like it's super applicable right now if you're on the job search, if you're out there interviewing. This is definitely a free gift for you. But if you're also the one that's giving the interview, that's holding this interview, I think it's very good that it would be very helpful for you to know in terms of what you should be doing, and also what you should look for in someone that's coming to the table prepared versus not prepared. So it's how to win. It's a top 5 tips of how to win in a virtual interview.
And I had a chance to watch, and I was so excited because I had my pen and paper. I took notes out. It was a really good gift. So if you want to check it out, you can find that on stiersconsulting.com. Is that correct?
Correct.
Excellent. The other place that you can find Miss Melissa Stiers, right around the corner, 2 weeks away, is the She Empowerment Conference. And so you don't want to miss this event. Register today. It's only $95, but the $95 ends on Saturday. Otherwise, it goes up. Register right now, because in addition to Melissa, all of these phenomenal speakers that you've seen over the last couple of weeks and that you're going to see leading up will be there. And you've only hit the tip of the iceberg with what they're going to bring with their interactions with you. Melissa, what are you most looking forward to with the She Empowerment Conference?
I'm glad, because I was going to jump in if you didn't let me. The one thing that I just wanted to say is that ending this year strong and ending this year filled up is really important. 2020 has been a year of so much turmoil and so much heartache for me personally, but also for our world as a nation. But it has also been a year of growth, and it's been a year of shedding some snake skin that I had to fall off. And so what I would encourage, I'm excited to end this year strong. I am excited to end this year empowered and with like-minded people, and I want to be poured into. So that's what I wanted to say, is that one of the other most important lessons that I have learned along the way is that you have to take time and pour into yourself. We label it self-care, we label it home care, or like girl, whatever, however it's labeled. But you need to take time. Yes, that's physical rest, that's eating right, healthy, but it's also pouring into your mind the right things, hearing the right words, being with right-minded people that are aligned with you or that can lift you up. Maybe you're in a pit of despair or depression or discouragement, or you're confused, and the best thing you can do is to pour into a conference like this where you'll be poured into. You don't have to pour in. You can sit there and everyone will pour into you. You'll have a notebook, you'll be taking notes, and you will get fired up, because I don't want anyone to end out 2020 on a low note. I want you to go out feeling strong, and I believe that's possible.
I love that you say that, because for me, it was very hard. So most people don't know this, but with COVID, I was actually furloughed from my 9 to 5 that I was working. And I got to the point where it's just like, okay, what am I doing? What's going on? And it really provided me with an opportunity for clarity. And I decided it's another step, but I decided just to step into what I know I should have been doing anyhow. And it has been such a blessing. And so I look differently. A lot of people I've heard, oh, it's $95. I don't know if I can afford $95. But when I thought about and I thought back to all of the things I've invested in over the years, over this year alone, and especially having lost my job, being furloughed, I looked back and I said, but all of it helped me get stronger. All of it helped me to get clearer. It helped me to be more focused on the path that I was supposed to take and walking in my purpose. Mm-hmm. And so $95 really doesn't seem like much when you change the perspective in which you look at it in. It's not a matter of I can't afford it. It's a matter of you can't afford not to. Right. You can't afford not to pour into yourself. You can't afford not to be positive and have that uplifting and that empowerment of this weekend. We are hitting every subject for every woman that you may not like everything, but I can guarantee there's going to be something that is going to allow you to grow so much more to end this year outside of that mindset of negativity and shift into the momentum as to what you need to go into 2020 thinking of.
Absolutely.
Okay, we have a couple of comments. Oh, Lawrence and Kathy are talking. Lawrence says, the world needs more of you too. And Kathy says, yes, I agree. Jackie also agrees. And Marcia agrees. You can't afford not to. The She Empowerment Conference was designed, and we're going to have a little church. Now I'm taking it off. Okay.
All right.
Further. So a lot of things you and I kind of talk about, and you and I have kind of bounced ideas off of one another in planning this. And in my walk today, I felt that nervous, anxious excitement. And I was just so excited about all of these things that are coming, all of the things that are in place. And I was talking to God, because that's what I do. God and I talk on my walks. And I was like, but God, I need people to come. I was like, everything is in place. I mean, there is no way somebody can come here and not say, I've been enriched. And I was like, but God, I need people to come. So give me a little word on that, Melissa. Go ahead and give the word out to me and to those people that are here.
I love that. I need to be enriched. And I think right now our soul needs to be fed. And I don't think it's coincidence of when this conference is taking place. This conference, although it's an international conference and we are welcome worldwide, our friends in Australia and in the UK and Canada, we hope that you attend. We know some of you are watching right now, but I know that those of us that live in United States of America, come that weekend, we are going to need to hear some words of encouragement. We are going to need to be enriched. Our souls and our beings are going to need to be fed into. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're sitting on. There's going to be a winner and a loser. Half the country is going to be in mourning and celebration. There may not even be a result at that time. And so what are we going to do? Once again, is we're going to go and get fed, because I always believe you have options. You have choices. It doesn't matter what's been said to you. You got furloughed. You've been told no. You're divorced. You're raising the kids by yourself. You're stressed out. You're working 2 jobs. You're working 3 jobs. You're building a business. You're doing it all, but you have choices. And I would encourage everyone to take the choice to plug this weekend aside and to register and come get empowered and enriched. I think that's such a beautiful word, because I do think our souls need to have a time of refreshing and of renewing. And I think our minds need a time to have new ideas thrown at us. I described recently that what I do for people in my strategy and coaching programs is sometimes you're looking at a kaleidoscope and it's beautiful and it's great, but you've just been looking at it the same way over and over. And all it needs maybe is just a millimeter, just a tiny little turn. And everything changes in the way you see and experience. Everything changes. How you live your life, how you speak your life, what you do, what your actions. And maybe this conference is literally just going to take your kaleidoscope and turn it just a little bit, just enough that shakes everything up. Because that's all it takes.
It
doesn't take climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. It doesn't take climbing Petra. It doesn't take that. It just takes a little.
Just a little shift. And I love that. And she is that little shift. So tell me, I have 2 more things before we go. I'm not going to take up any more of your time, but this is good. I love it. Melissa, tell everybody, what can they look forward to you outside of the She Empowerment Conference? Where can they find you? What's coming up on your calendar?
Thank you. That's a great question. I've got another conference coming up. I'm hoping that I'm saying the words right. It's the Deeper Leadership Conference that'll be taking place the following weekend, I believe, that I'm speaking at. I'm coming out on a blog with Protect My Shoes. I love women and I love women businesses. So I'm all about working with women business owners and also small businesses right now, but also just getting my message out there. So those are some of the most recent speaking platforms that could be reading and hearing me from. Like I said, in January, I'm launching Next Level Leadership Academy. So go ahead and reach out to me now if you're interested in that. And then you can follow me on Instagram at The Melissa Speaks. You can follow me on Facebook at The Melissa Speaks, because The Melissa does speak. And what I hope that I do, my mission is very simple. I want others to live their lives lit, L-I-T. I want others to live a life in leadership, in influence, and in transformation. And once you're lit, you are able to lead others, to influence them and allow them to transform. You're able to turn their kaleidoscopes for them.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I love it, Melissa. I love it. So as we are closing, what I've done for the last couple of weeks, or a couple of times that we've done this, I have placed on you to fill in the words that come after she, because she is a conference. She is an experience. And so we really look at that because she is one of those words that can kind of go across the globe. And so I want us to look at that as you end us out and close us out tonight. What is she to you, and what is she? What are you speaking life into she? Your turn.
She is a warrior. She is a warrior that has conquered so much, that is still standing. and that still has so much left to do. And I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying this to you, because truly she is remarkable. She is me. She is you. She is my sisters in Saudi Arabia. She is my friends down under. She is a warrior who has conquered and who is going to conquer more mountains, more challenges that are going to be thrown, but she is strong and she is able. And the other thing that she is she's not alone. She's with a tribe, and the tribe is global.
I love that, Melissa. If you want to get more of Melissa's energy and fire, excitement, and experience, register today for the She Empowerment Conference. As I told you, the early bird special ends on Saturday. Now, you can still buy a ticket, but why pay more when you can buy it right now? Buy it now. Register today for the She Empowerment Conference at sheempowermentconference.com. If you are someone if you're already registered, tell someone else. Invite a friend. If you're a man, pay for your wife or your girlfriend or your sister or your mother. This is going to be something that is phenomenal for everyone. So go ahead and have them come.
Can I say, yes, please. Don't mean to cut you off, but it's also a time to engage. Like I see the chats blowing up. It's a time to encourage one another. It's really fun to do this. And like, you're going to get fed from each other and like not be alone. And I think we've had a lot of isolation taking place. And this is going to be a time where you're not going to feel isolated, but you're going to have inclusivity, and it's going to be diverse, and it's going to be inspiring and encouraging. But that, I would encourage it for that too, that you're going to be able to connect in a way that I think is very needed.
Excellent. So we're going to play our She video before you leave, and then we might take it out. Think of a song that we can take us out in, Melissa, but we're going to play the video for now. All right. So thank you all for joining us. This has been Tonya Nicole. Nope. This has been Talks and Tea with me, Tonya Nicole, and featuring my very special guest, my sister, Miss Melissa Stiers. Melissa, what song do we have to go out on?
Oh my gosh. I'm like, all I have is like, bye bye, Miss American Pie. Like that. Bye, 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 bye from NSYNC.
Oh yeah, that was from our time. So now you're really dating us, because
you dated us with Pinky in the Brain. So we're just
I did. I did. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. You hear that Southern twang coming off. I will see you all tomorrow night. Again, we have a jam-packed week with wonderful speakers that are coming, and we started us off, Melissa, with a bang. So thank you so much. Please, if you're hearing this for the first time, whether it's the replay or live, comment below. We'd love to continue the conversation. Melissa will have access to the chat. So will I. So we would love to interact with you. If you need more information about the She Empowerment Conference, or if you're ready to register because time is running out, go to www.sheempowermentconference.com. This has been Talks and Tea with me, Tonya Nicole, and my very special guest, Miss Melissa Stiers. Peace.
Thank you.